Hello again, and thanks for tuning in. In this episode, we are going to continue spreading our corruption and try to see if we can take a couple more lands. I don't think we've actually taken anything except Essen, which we've just lost and recaptured several times. Beschafin has been like a holding point for us. Even with our pretty powerful armies, it's like just doesn't seem worth the risk, you know, and that's kind of the definition of what makes a great stronghold in my opinion. So we're gonna have to see what we can do about that. So Kislev, the capital, can't even see, but since Fort Jakova's here, Zavastra is way up there, right next to Beschafin. Let's see.
Bow before me.
That might actually be a pretty tough take, because look at how far we have to travel.
They will know.
I mean, even in a marching stance.
Very well.
Okay, so the key is to definitely take Fort Jakova, because then the territory will not be hostile anymore. So we're not going to be able to do it this turn, and I don't necessarily want to... Well, it's actually not that big of a deal. So I'm going to move my forces in a march stance as far as I can towards the enemy territory. And with that, I think still don't have enough money to build anything, so yeah, we're going to end this turn. Alright, so we have a mission. We at war with the Red Eye clan within 6 turns. Okay, Red Eye clan is over here, but the problem is I can't take their supplies, or I can't take their areas. If I capture one of their cities, I can burn it to the ground, or I can steal money from it. But I can't capture it. I can't use it to spread my influence. So that would be a good place to raid and make money, but it also makes me an enemy without being able to actually spread the power of my empire. So I'm hesitant to attack them, especially when I have so many empire armies and enemies that are right now on my doorstep. So I may have to just let that mission decline, just in the just trying to do the right thing, I guess, not waste my own time. Alright, so I spent another turn simply just moving across the landscape to get over here, suffering even further losses to my units. But they'll be recouped quickly. So I'm going to do the same thing with him, move him as close as I can to Fort Jakova. Alright, end our turn. And at the start of this next turn, we should have enough money to buy the Balefire and start spreading corruption through the province of Essen. And by doing that, we'll be able to spread corruption through, well, everywhere. So now that I think about it, although I really enjoy having this bonus of growth, I think a bonus of 50 growth in Essen would be absolutely staggering to its ability to then rank up and then start spreading the corruption even further. So that's what I'm going to do. I've decided that Eastern Sylvania is going to be my stronghold for building. Well, actually, I'm going to have to demolish a lot of my buildings and start replacing them. Now that I think about it, because the bonuses for most of the buildings in the Abyssal Wood are on the Western Sylvania, not Eastern. And many of the income buildings, like the gold mine, are on Eastern Sylvania, not Western. So, with that in mind, I'm going to actually build at Temple Castlehof. Well, I'm not going to build anything. That's right, I almost talked myself out of my own strategy. I'm going to build a Brazier. A Balefire Brazier, which will give me +3 to Vampiric Corruption, and hopefully will bring this total higher than 77%, maybe even closer to 80 or 90%. Interestingly enough, my Lack of corruption is causing my public order to fall at -9, but the bonuses I'm receiving are bringing it up by +9, and so we're currently at 0. But the great thing about that is the corruption, or the lack of corruption, I should say, is what's causing the instability. So as our corruption begins to go higher and higher and higher, the province will become more and more stable and eventually positive and start to right itself, and then we can use it to gain taxes, and yeah. So we're going to increase its growth massively with our Hero S. She's going to make a huge difference. And once we upgrade to a Shady Township, which is its max rank, we will be able to upgrade our Balefire Brazier to a rank 2 Brazier. It has a different name. I forget what it is. But once upgraded, it will start to spread corruption to all the provinces around it. And that'll be really nice once we capture Beshefen, because then that expansion will lead to the border of everything it controls. So that's what we're going to do. Eastern Sylvania, we're going to start shaping into a powerhouse of financial stability. Western Sylvania is going to be our powerhouse of building and training new units. And Ostermark is going to be known as the place where the corruption spreads throughout the rest of the empire. It's going to be, even when our army surrounds, or when our military surrounds it completely, it'll still be spreading corruption to all the nearby provinces and maintaining that public order and keeping morale high.
They will serve.
Alright, so let's see here. I'm going to move my hero
Champion of the dark.
close enough to defend, and then I'm going to attack with my other hero.
The spirits agree.
Declare war,
It will be a mass grave.
and then I'm just going to auto decide this because the enemy has a level 3 hero, but almost no unit. And we're going to capture. Occupy.
I relish the opportunity.
So a new follower gained, income from Vampire Crypts and Vampire Keeps, 8%. Raised dead cost.
You
And the hero, since our vampire hero led the assault, leveled up again. So we're going to get Darkling Skies, and that's going to reduce the amount of casualties we suffer when in enemy territory. And now all our units are beginning to repair and heal,
thirst.
so that's pretty good. We suffered not necessarily a lot of damage from the actual assault itself, but instead we suffered quite a bit of damage just from the actual attrition between battles. Now Kislev, the actual capital, is right here. Since I do have both armies with me, I may assault that castle of Kislev, depending on, and it's right across from Beshefen, so I'd have like 2 adjoining. So many options. Alright, Essen. Since I'm not worried necessarily about losing it anymore, I'm going to go for, I don't see really any unique buildings, at least not here. I should garrison it, because if I don't go for like Workbad, or if I don't go for like this country here, which is Stirland. If I don't attack Stirland for a while and they stay somewhat neutral over there, then I shouldn't have to worry too much. These dwarves do make me kind of nervous at the bottom here, though, I have to admit. Okay, so now that I know that I'm going to turn this into a place for raising units, I need to get rid of, I'm going to abandon this charnel pit. And on Castle Drakenhof, I'm going to get rid of my buildings. Well, I guess I could leave them. They're already built. I guess I could leave them. So I can build an armory if I save up enough money, which will allow the recruitment of Cairn Wraiths, Blackguards, Black Knights, +1 unit experience for all infantry. See, that's something that needs to be built in eastern Sylvania. I don't know if it can, though. It most definitely can. So yeah, that's another one for eastern Sylvania. Or western, sorry. Eastern Sylvania, I want to get things that increase income pretty much in like every building. So let's see here. With that in mind, I will go for nothing. Okay. I'm gonna take this invocation of Nagesh and I'm gonna switch it over to Harvest Corpses, which will increase the tax rate by an additional 5% here. And I'm gonna switch over Oberstyre to a bonus of +1 for all recruits and +1 to total capacity, so you can hire more units here. Alright, so Essen is two turns away from being able to start spreading its corruption. So I'm going to actually buy a Cursed Fields, and that's going to give me public order as well as income. And that only takes 1 turn. So starting next turn, I'll be starting to build public order. If I tax this province, it's -4. So we'll be able to start taxing and earning almost $300 additional per turn next turn. So the corruption here in this little town of Jakova, Fort Jakova, the corruption here is 0%, but it is trending upwards towards 18% slowly. So it is going to start spreading corruption out slowly throughout the world here, and it's just going to start building up as Essen builds up power itself.
The world will drown in
Okay, so we have no more movement, but I'm going to get to the very edge of my terrain with this army, so I'm not overly worried about it. One thing I do like is it looks like Fort Jakova may be able to build... I'm going to demolish this building. I don't really need this area up here to be building units. I might be able to build like some kind of gem mine or something on this province for a huge bonus to my income, so that's going to be nice. Also, now that my income is starting to rise, I'm up at almost 700. I'm going to just keep the 2 armies that I have up north, and I'm going to start building a second army down south here. I'm going to hire a legendary lord, probably down here at Schwarzhofen, and then I'm going to start slowly building up that army and letting him gain experience, and he's going to just start... I'm going to do that right now, actually. Van Karstein, free. Okay. So here he is, down here at Schwarzhofen, which is going to be the center of our province where buildings get built. He doesn't really need an army right now. He's in a safe spot. He's just making that even more powerful than it already is. And I think with that, we're pretty much out of moves. We're going to let our army here of Van Karstein, we're going to let him focus on replenishing his units a little bit. Volker Van Karstein, he's just going to do the same, let his units replenish, and we're going to go and attack Kislev next turn if possible. So we'll see. Let's go ahead and end it. Alright, so the gods are angry, it says. I can either offer them a tribute, which costs $1,000, which is like 60% of the money I have, but I get +4 to public order in all provinces, which means I can start taxing that area. Or I get angry gods, where I get a huge bonus to growth, but all my provinces go negative even more. I'm going to take the hit to the money, because I think the bonus to income, it would be much higher with the taxes I can gain. And so I take that hit from the mission, or the angry gods, for 1,000. That hurts, but now that I'm at +7 for the next few turns, I can tax the province, go to +3, and make $400 because of the bonus Cursed Fields. And next turn, I'll be able to start spreading the corruption even further, Although we're now trending less. We're only trending towards 71% corruption. So, Alright, money-wise, I'm going to buy here at Schwarzhofen a... well, I wanted to buy a Sinister Copse, but I don't have enough money. So we will hold off on that one.
It is night.
So I'm going to start moving... Well, do I need her to be moved? I mean, the 50 growth is nice. Yeah, I'm going to move her over to Western Savannah. The only reason that I'm going to do that is because the 50 growth will be really nice, and I need to get this this area upgraded and caught up to the other side, since it's going to be where most of my units are being produced, and so I need to be able to produce the strongest units possible. Alright, so he is basically maintaining a positive public order in this area while our corruption rises.
You dare.
Alright, this army is continuing to build as we head towards Kislev. I'm going to just move him close enough to be able to spot the enemy base and see if they have units there.
Everything dies.
Like an army. And it looks like he doesn't even have an army stationed there.
Vlad von Karstein.
Let's see if I can attack it.
Shed their blood. I want their souls.
I can indeed, but it says that I'm going to be a huge disadvantage strategically. So, I'm going to take one turn and build a ram and a tower, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to continue the siege.
Death and destruction. No mercy.
So this could be pretty painful. I could lose quite a few units here. But if I hold on to this territory right here, and use it to start taking towards Beshafen, then I've got a really powerful double keep setup where I can have a hero that bounce back and forth defensively, and hold it and start working my way towards Kislev. Wait, what? Oh, I'd have to get Silvestra over here too. Wow. Okay, so this Kislev area, or should I say Southern Oblast, will be this gigantic area here. So I'll have Beshafen completely surrounded on both sides, and wow. Okay, so that's really nice. I like how this is progressing. Next turn we're going to have our secondary hero move up, and he's going to get close enough to reinforce because he's got all these fodder troops. If I lose every single unit in Volker's army, I really am not upset in the least. Literally, as long as he survives, I can lose every one of those units and it's okay. So I've got a huge force of just fodder to throw away, basically. And I'm going to continue building on my money. I gotta let my income build up a little bit. I don't even have enough to build the Sinister Copse or anything like that, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this turn.
Don't underestimate the danger thou art in, mortal. Mine patience wears thin for thy parley.
So they're offering a peace treaty, but I'm not going to do a treaty and then break it needlessly when I don't need to. I may be ruthless and brutal, but I'm not stupid. And I think that honoring or going through the trouble of diplomacy just to break it is pointless. I'm just going to decline his offer and continue to slaughter his people into oblivion. So we're going to decline. Alright. So a stranger comes, so I can either take a +4 chaos corruption in all my provinces and get $3,000, or I can get a safeguard and that increases the vampiric corruption by +2 in all provinces. I'm going to take that because that's going to spread the corruption extremely quickly through a lot of the areas, including Essen, which is where I would like it to. So I'm going to refuse the creature. Alright, so I've got over $1,000 now. Essen has got its vampiric corruption at 3, I need to get to this next rank, but in order to do that, I need to get 2 population points and $4,000 to begin spreading that corruption. Still going to be worth it. I really think it will be. Alright, so down here in eastern Sylvania, do we have anything we can really build income-wise? 100 income there. So yeah, we could spend 1,000 and get 100 income, which again, it's not bad in the long run, but right now it's not my biggest priority. So Swartzhofen, let's see. Oh, I got enough money now, so I'm gonna build the Sinister Copse, which is the trees. And then I'm also going to need to, when I upgrade either Swartzhofen or Obersteyr, let's see here. Nope, I need to build the Defiled Cairn here at the main building, because otherwise it won't be able to get up here to rank 4 to get the White Kings and Cairn Wraiths and stuff like that. So I need to make sure that's doable, especially where I'm going to be building all of my units. So corruption here, 100%. Look at Essen, we're at +5 now. And corruption's at 45%, trending towards 83. So, not bad, not bad. Keep doing your thing, guys. Alright, so Fort Jakova here, it's dropping at 18 a turn between provincial stability, in lack of corruption, all that kind of stuff. But it is trending towards 30% corruption, so that's really nice. Bring our secondary army within battle range. Re-engaged for the fight, and now it says it's almost going to be fair. Well, let's see if that's a honest assessment. Alright, units that I absolutely cannot lose. My hero and necromancer, both of them have to survive. And my blood knights must survive. I have a veteran rank 7 out of 9 now on my blood knights. And they have a banner that lets them run through terrain, so yeah. Although my flyers are also rank 7 and 2 of them are rank 6, if I lose them it's technically not the end of the world. But I don't want to lose those knights and I don't want to lose those heroes. So, I do not, or do I? You know, I do. I was beginning to think I wanted to focus all my forces on one side, but the more that I think about it, I want to do the exact opposite. Because I have 2 full armies, I want to get those zombies and skeletons and everything from my secondary reinforcement army up over the wall as fast as possible and get inside. And if I need to, I can use them to simply capture the enemy from behind while they're attacking. So my primary army, number 1 for my hero, he's going to be right in front. His job is to get to the door, start breaking it down. Unit number 2 is going to be special because it's the one with the ram. And so it's going to basically be used to attack the door, and so it's just going to be its own group. Group 3 is going to be all of my skeletons. Group 4 is going to be my crypt ghouls, and I'm actually going to keep them back in the trees so they don't get shot to pieces if at all possible. Group 0 is going to be my necromancer. My flyers are going to be group 8, and group 9 is going to be my knights. So the basic strategy here is get the ram and my hero to the door as quickly as possible. Have all the skeletons start running towards the walls and get up on the walls to start killing their archers and things like that. Have my crypt ghouls, who are more fragile than the skeletons but do more damage, follow immediately behind and run up the same ladders and start slaughtering the units up top. Have my flyers fly over the walls and land on them and kill them. If they become under fire, find the artillery and kill it. When the door is open, run inside with my main hero, my Blood Knights, use healing spells if necessary, and my reinforcement army is going to just simply be grouped into a giant force and told to attack the opposing side of the castle. I'm going to go ahead and start deployment. I don't need to gamble with higher magic than that, and since I've already put everybody in groups and deployed, I'm going to go ahead and start this battle right now.
This world is mine.
So I'm getting attacked with my flyers immediately, it looks like. So since that's the case, I'm going to hold them back, but I will use them in the future to attack. Using my healing spell on one of my groups of attackers. Using my other healing spell, and as soon as my units get up on the walls, I'm going to go and attack them as well. So I'm going to now fly in and begin attacking because my units are getting close and they're taking heavy losses. My secondary army is here, so I'm going to have them run as fast as they can and get up on the walls. Alright, here we go. We're approaching the walls now. My flyers are in the midst of them. And here comes the secondary units of them. Now, my Vargeists are going to be doing pretty good here, but I've got 2 more units of them flyers coming in, so we'll see how it comes. And here comes the secondary force. So now that these things are all focused on killing my units that are landing here and flying in, they're hopefully not going to be focused as much on killing my guys climbing up over the walls. At least that's the hope. Focusing on casting healing spells on anything I can. Alright, I'm also going to be casting the buff that makes my flying units stronger. Alright, I'm going to keep chasing their units off the walls. Actually, I'm going in now, and I'm going after their, with my bats and my flyers, I'm going after their artillery. Alright, now my units are all climbing up over the walls and going for their guys. Doors are open, everyone needs to come inside. Alright, so my flyers are now in the midst of their artillery, and they're having a pretty tough time of firing anymore. So it's pretty much everybody in. And now I'm going to have my flyers attack the outriders, which are the only things that are really dealing damage to me. Well, they're running away, so I'm re-attacking. Alright, I'm going to just keep casting healing spells on the forces up on the walls if I can. Alright, so now it's everybody into the middle. I select the entire army from one side to the other and tell them all to run inside. And now I have my units land inside the base, start capturing it. The enemy's still got a pretty decent force here, putting up a valiant fight. So since I can't seem to capture this area with my flyers, I'm going to instead use them to attack the enemy on the walls. I'm losing a lot of skeletal units, but that's kind of what they were designed for. I can always trade them from one army to the other. Alright, with the flyers landing in the midst of their only real force of power units left. Alright, they do have a unit of outriders right below me, so this is a great opportunity to pounce.
Master of the undead.
Casting healing spells. And with that, the enemy breaks and flees. So, I mean, it was a pretty heavy battle. I took some pretty heavy losses, but I'm going to get a good amount of experience, and I took the castle. So you could see there that that battle was won by the flyers. That 3-unit of Vargeist killed hundreds. Almost half of their entire losses were suffered by those units there. So, and it looks like they killed my vampire necromancer. It shows him having 1 health, so we'll see. We're gonna capture this.
Death and destruction.
And it looks like he survived. Okay, great. So he got a new ability, Scroll of Power. Another treasure for income. Increased magic drop. Alright. I am actually really happy with that. That was a very good victory. You know, that could have gone a lot worse. But I think in the end it worked out really well. So, I think we're going to go ahead and spend our points and upgrade to our level 11 hero now. We're going to max out that aura. Aura size of plus 40%. And then next points we'll start spending will be up here in our damage again. Alright, our Necromancer is level 6. We're going to improve that bonus. So we're going to make the spell reduced by 50%. So we can use it more often. So we still have 4 units of Crypt Ghouls, and we still have some skeletons, and we still have all of our Vargeist, and we still have our Knights. So we're going to trade with our army.
Then go.
And we're going to give him nothing. I take it back. We're going to take Vlad von Karstein, and we're going to have him retreat. And he's going to run all the way back to Tempelhof, and he's going to regroup and rebuild his forces with new units and a rebuilt army. He, Volker van Karstein, he's going to become a powerhouse here. We've got a great bonus to our income because of this. So I'm going to leave that as is. I'm going to put him inside the castle. Alright. Getting him some points. Max out Darkling Skies. Alright. And he's just going to kind of hang out there and just kind of hold it and make sure everything's okay. So we're at negative 21 on public order by taxing. So conquest would knock that down by 10 next turn. There is a lack of corruption and provincial instability, so that's going to go down as well. So I'm going to actually turn off the taxing, which is $600. That's immense. But we really need the ability to actually hold this terrain and not have it leave and go crazy on us. So I'm going to have this hero again run this way through friendly territory towards our own area, Tempelhof.
Ready.
Rosalind, if she deploys, will increase the growth in this area dramatically. So we're going to go ahead and do that for it.
Mesmerizing embrace.
So Fort Jehovah, it's got a poaching camp. That's cool. It's also got a building we don't need. And Kiev, okay. So what can we get here that's going to help? Growth 20, income. Wow. The Unholy Forge. Reduced cost for Black Coach, Corpse Cart, Mortis Engine, and Blood Knights. Reduced cost for Brave Knight and Black Knights. Increased experience for all those units, and +3 experience for Black Knights and Brave Guards. Okay. Okay. So Southern Oblast here is going to be where I get my skeletons. This is going to be good. Okay, so everything except skeletons. So down here, I will... Is that what these are? These are my skeleton warriors. Grave Guards, Black Knights. So I'm going to destroy this cemetery. Not necessary. Same thing here. Waste of time. If I'm going to get those units, I might as well get it at the other one. Same thing with this building. Waste of time. Shouldn't have it here. I won't need the armory. Let's see, what is this? Income and public order. Growth. I am going to get, at Castle Drakenhof, a Brazier to spread corruption. I think I should get at least one of those. And I don't want to get it at Tempelhof because I'm going to have extra construction slots here. So I don't have enough money yet. I don't need this building either.
Ready.
Okay, so this one I'm gonna have to build. Yep, oh, actually I don't need that. No, I'm gonna build it up top there. So that actually becomes pretty critical to control then. Alright, so before we go any further, I think that seems like a good place to end this episode. So I'd like to thank you all for tuning in, and next time you come back, hopefully we'll continue to spread our influence throughout the world. So have a great day. Thanks. Bye.